English tea.
From Speaking English with Class. Hey everyone, welcome back to English Tea. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo, and today, oh man, we've got a story that's going to absolutely blow your mind.
So before we dive in, let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of people dancing until they literally died?
Wait, what? You mean like dancing so hard they had a heart attack or something?
No. I'm talking about hundreds of people in the streets dancing nonstop for weeks, and some of them actually died from exhaustion.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this straight. You're telling me this actually happened, like for real?
Yes, this is 100% real history. It's called the dancing mania or the dancing plague, and it's one of the creepiest mass hysteria events ever recorded.
All right, listeners, grab your tea because today we're going to learn some amazing conversational English while we explore this bizarre historical event. And trust me, by the end of this episode, you're going to be using phrases like, let me get this straight, and you mean to tell me it like a total native speaker.
So, Leo, why don't you set the scene for us? Where and when did this crazy thing happen?
Right, so picture this. It's July 1518. We're in Strasbourg, which is now part of France, but back then it was part of the Holy Roman Empire.
Okay, pause. I want to teach our listeners something here. Did you notice how Leo just said, picture this? That's such a natural way to start telling a story in English. You're basically saying, imagine this or visualize this.
Exactly, it's super common in storytelling. You could also say, get this, or check this out. These are all ways to grab someone's attention before you tell them something interesting.
Love it. Okay, so back to 1518 Strasbourg. What happened next?
So, on a hot summer day,
A woman named Frau Troffea, and Frau just means Mrs.
in German, by the way, she suddenly started dancing in the street.
When you say dancing, you mean like she was happy and decided to dance?
No, and this is where it gets weird. She just started dancing. No music, no celebration, nothing. She just couldn't stop moving.
Wait, let me make sure I understand this. You're saying she didn't choose to dance, she just started and couldn't stop.
Exactly. And here's the thing. She danced for hours, then days. Her feet were bleeding. She was exhausted, but she kept going.
Oh my God, that's horrifying.
Right. And now here's where I want our listeners to really pay attention. Notice how Mia just used, let me make sure I understand this. That's another perfect example of a clarifying expression. It's a bit more formal than let me get this straight, but it works great in conversations.
Good catch. So, listeners, when you're not sure about something someone said, or when something sounds really surprising, these phrases are gold. You can say, let me get this straight, let me make sure I understand, or just to be clear.
And the beautiful thing is, native speakers use these all the time, like all the time, especially when we hear something shocking or confusing.
Absolutely. Okay, so back to poor Frau Troffea. She's dancing in the street, bleeding feet, completely exhausted. What happened next?
So here's where it gets even crazier. Within a week, 34 more people joined her.
I'm sorry, what? You mean to tell me that other people saw her dancing uncontrollably and they started doing it too?
Yes, and there it is, listeners. You mean to tell me this is such a powerful expression. Mia just used it perfectly. It shows disbelief, like you can't believe what you're hearing.
Right, and the tone matters a lot here. When I say, you mean to tell me with that emphasis, I'm showing I'm shocked. I'm almost saying, like, are you seriously saying this to me right now?
Exactly. You could use it in so many situations. Like if your friend says they forgot your birthday, you could say, you mean to tell me you forgot my birthday? Or if someone says they've never had pizza, you mean to tell me you've never had pizza?
Love those examples. Okay, so 34 people joined her within a week. That's insane. But it gets worse, doesn't it?
Oh, it gets so much worse. By August, so about a month later, there were around 400 people dancing in the streets.
400 people?
400 people, all dancing, couldn't stop. Some were screaming, some were crying while they danced, and the authorities had no idea what to do.
Okay, so let me get this straight. We've got 400 people in the middle of summer in medieval Europe just dancing nonstop in the streets, and nobody knows why.
That's exactly right. And I love how you used "let me get this straight" there, because you're summarizing what I said to make sure you understood correctly.
Right, and that's actually one of the best ways to use this phrase. When you want to summarize or recap what someone told you, it shows you're actively listening and processing the information.
And in everyday conversations, this is super useful. Like at work, if your boss gives you a complex task, you might say, "Okay, let me get this straight. You want me to finish the report by Friday, send it to the team, and then present it on Monday?"
Perfect example. It's professional, it's clear, and it shows you're paying attention. All right, so back to our dancing disaster. What did the authorities actually do?
Okay, so this is where medieval logic comes in, and it's gonna sound absolutely bonkers to us today.
Oh no, I have a feeling I know where this is going.
The city council and the local physicians, they decided that the dancing was caused by hot blood.
Hot blood? What does that even mean?
Right, so in medieval medicine, they believed in something called the four humors: blood, phlegm, black bile, and yellow bile. And they thought if your blood got too hot, it could make you do crazy things.
Okay, just to be clear, they thought the solution to people dancing themselves to death was…
To make them dance more.
What?
I'm dead serious. They thought if people danced it out, the hot blood would cool down. So they actually built stages, hired musicians, and encouraged more dancing.
You mean to tell me that the official response to a dancing plague was to throw a dance party?
Yes, and notice, listeners, Mia's using "you mean to tell me" again, but this time with even more disbelief. The repetition of this phrase actually makes it more powerful.
It's true, and in real conversations, when something is really unbelievable, we tend to use these clarifying phrases multiple times. It's natural, it's not repetitive. It actually emphasizes how shocked we are.
Exactly. Like if your friend keeps telling you more and more crazy details about their day, you might say, "Let me get this straight," multiple times as the story unfolds.
Right. Okay, so they hired musicians, built stages, basically encouraged more dancing. I'm assuming this did not help.
It made things worse, way worse. More people joined in and people started dying.
Dying?
Yeah, from heart attacks, strokes, exhaustion. The records from that time mention several deaths, though the exact number is debated by historians.
This is absolutely horrifying. So how did it finally end?
Well, after the whole "make them dance more" strategy failed spectacularly, the authorities changed their approach.
Thank God.
They decided it must be a curse from Saint Vitus.
Wait, who's Saint Vitus?
Saint Vitus was a Christian saint, and back then people believed he could curse you with uncontrollable dancing if you angered him.
So let me make sure I'm following this. First, they thought it was hot blood, so they made people dance more, and when that didn't work, they blamed a saint.
Yep, medieval logic at its finest.
And listeners, notice how I used "let me make sure I'm following this." That's a slight variation of "let me get this straight." It means the same thing, but sounds a bit softer, a bit less confrontational.
Good point. You could also say, "Let me see if I'm understanding this correctly," or "if I'm hearing you right." These are all ways to check your understanding without sounding aggressive.
Exactly. Okay, so they blamed Saint Vitus. What did they do about it?
They took the dancers to a shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus, prayed for them, made offerings, and eventually the dancing stopped.
Just like that?
Well, not immediately, but gradually over the next few weeks, people stopped dancing and the mania ended.
Okay, so here's what I want to know. What actually caused this? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't hot blood or an angry saint.
Right, so this is where it gets really interesting from a scientific perspective. Modern historians and scientists have come up with a few theories.
All right, lay 'em on me.
Theory number one, ergot poisoning.
Ergot? What's that?
So, ergot is a fungus that grows on rye and other grains, and if you eat bread made from infected grain, it can cause hallucinations, convulsions, and weird muscle spasms.
Wait, you mean to tell me this could have been caused by moldy bread?
Possibly, yeah. Ergot poisoning was actually pretty common in medieval Europe, and it can cause something called St. Anthony's fire, which includes symptoms like twitching and uncontrollable movements.
Okay, but dancing for weeks? Is that really a symptom of ergot poisoning?
That's the problem with this theory. Ergot poisoning usually doesn't last that long, and it doesn't really explain why people would specifically dance rather than just have random muscle spasms.
Right, so what's theory number 2?
Theory number two is mass psychogenic illness.
Okay, you're gonna have to break that down for me.
Sure, so mass psychogenic illness, also called mass hysteria, is when a group of people develop similar physical symptoms without any physical cause. It's all psychological.
So, like their minds made their bodies dance.
Exactly. And this actually happens more than you'd think. There are documented cases throughout history.
Like what?
Well, there's the laughing epidemic in Tanzania in 1962, where students at a girls' school started laughing uncontrollably and it spread to other schools.
You're kidding.
Nope, totally real. And more recently, there have been cases of mass fainting at schools or groups of people developing similar symptoms after being exposed to something they thought was toxic, but actually wasn't.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're saying that stress or fear can actually make large groups of people physically sick or behave strangely?
Yes. And here's the thing. Strasbourg in 1518 was going through some serious stuff.
Like what?
Well, there were famines, disease was everywhere, people were dying from the plague, there was extreme poverty, religious tension. Basically, life was really hard.
So people were under massive stress.
Huge amounts of stress. And in that kind of environment, with those beliefs about saints and curses, it's actually not that surprising that mass hysteria could occur.
Wow, okay, so the theory is that extreme stress combined with cultural beliefs created this dancing mania.
Exactly. And what makes this theory stronger is that dancing mania wasn't just a one-time thing.
Wait, what do you mean?
There were other outbreaks.
You mean to tell me this happened more than once?
Multiple times there are records of dancing manias in Germany, the Netherlands, Italy, mostly in the 14th to 17th centuries.
That's insane.
Right? And they all happened during times of extreme social stress, famine, disease, religious persecution.
Okay, so just to recap, we've got ergot poisoning as one theory, which is the moldy bread idea, and mass psychogenic illness as another theory, which is the stress and cultural belief idea. Are there any other theories?
There's a third one that some historians propose, which is that it was a religious cult or ritual.
A cult?
Yeah, some people think that the dancers might have been part of a religious group that used dancing as a form of worship or ecstatic experience.
But wouldn't they have admitted that?
Not necessarily, especially if it was considered heretical or dangerous by the church.
Okay, but that doesn't really explain why they couldn't stop dancing, or why some died.
Exactly, which is why most historians don't really buy this theory.
So we're back to ergot poisoning or mass psychogenic illness.
Pretty much, and honestly, most modern researchers lean towards the mass psychogenic illness explanation,
Why's that?
because it better explains the duration, the specific behavior of dancing, and the social context.
That makes sense. Okay, so I want to pause here and talk about something for our listeners.
Sure, what's up?
We've been using these clarifying expressions throughout this whole story, and I think it's really important for our listeners to understand when and why to use them.
Great point. So let's break it down.
Let me get this straight is perfect when you want to summarize what someone said or when you're checking if you understood correctly.
Right, and it can be used in both formal and informal situations, though it's maybe a bit more casual.
You mean to tell me is best when you're shocked or surprised by what you're hearing.
Exactly, and the tone really matters with this one. You can make it sound playful or genuinely upset depending on how you say it.
And let me make sure I understand is a bit more formal and polite.
Yeah, this one's great for work situations or when you're talking to someone you don't know well.
And just to be clear, works when you want to clarify a specific point without repeating everything.
Perfect. And listeners, the key is to practice these in real conversations.
Right, like next time you're watching an English movie or TV show, pay attention to how characters use these phrases.
And try using them yourself, even if it feels awkward at first.
Exactly, because the more you use them, the more natural they'll feel.
All right, so back to Dancing Mania. I think there's something really fascinating about this story beyond just the weird historical event.
What's that?
It shows us how powerful social pressure and cultural beliefs can be.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, these people genuinely believed they were cursed or that they had hot blood or whatever, and that belief was so strong it actually affected their physical behavior.
Right, and we still see this today, don't we?
Totally. I mean, think about social media.
Oh, here we go.
No, seriously, think about viral challenges.
Okay, I'm listening.
Like, remember the Ice Bucket Challenge or the Harlem Shake or any of these things that suddenly everyone is doing?
Yeah.
That's a form of social contagion too. It's not as extreme as Dancing Mania, but it's the same basic principle. People see others doing something and they feel compelled to join in.
Huh, I never thought about it that way.
Right? And sometimes these challenges can actually be dangerous.
Like that Tide Pod challenge.
Exactly. People were literally eating laundry detergent because it was trending online.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're comparing medieval dancing mania to modern internet challenges?
In a way, yeah, both involve social pressure, both spread quickly through communities, and both can be harmful.
But there's a big difference too.
What's that?
The people doing viral challenges choose to do them. The dancers in 1518 seemed like they couldn't stop.
Fair point, but you could argue that social pressure makes people feel like they don't have a choice.
True, like FOMO?
Exactly. Fear of missing out is a real thing.
Okay, so what's the takeaway here?
I think the takeaway is that humans are deeply social creatures, and we're influenced by the people around us way more than we like to admit.
Even to the point of harming ourselves?
Unfortunately, yes.
That's kind of scary.
It is, but it's also important to be aware of.
Right, like being conscious of why you're doing something.
Exactly. Asking yourself, am I doing this because I genuinely want to or because everyone else is doing it?
Good advice. Okay, so I want to circle back to something.
What's up?
You mentioned earlier that there were other dancing mania outbreaks.
Yeah,
Can you tell us more about those?
sure. So there was a major one in Aachen, Germany in 1374.
What happened there?
Similar story. People started dancing uncontrollably. It spread through the region and it lasted for months.
Months?
Yeah,
And what's interesting about this one is that we have more detailed accounts.
Like what?
Well, witnesses described people dancing in the streets, forming lines, holding hands, and they said the dancers seemed to be in a trance-like state.
Creepy.
Right? And some accounts mention that dancers would see visions or hallucinations.
Like what kind of visions?
Religious imagery mostly, angels, demons, that sort of thing.
Which fits with the whole mass hysteria theory.
Exactly, especially considering this was during a time of intense religious fervor and fear.
Were there any other notable outbreaks?
Yeah, there was one in Strasbourg, again in 1518, which is the one we've been talking about, but there were smaller ones in Italy and the Netherlands too.
And they all happened during stressful times.
Pretty much. Famine, plague, war, poverty.
So the pattern is clear.
Very clear.
Okay, so I have a question.
Shoot.
Why dancing specifically? Like, why not running or jumping or, I don't know, singing?
That's actually a great question.
Right.
And historians have some theories about this too.
I'm all ears.
So, in medieval Europe, dancing had a lot of cultural significance.
How so?
Well, there were religious dances, folk dances, and dancing was often associated with both celebration and possession.
Possession?
Yeah, like demonic possession or being possessed by spirits.
Oh.
So, if people believed they were cursed or possessed, dancing would actually make sense as a manifestation of that.
Interesting.
And there's another thing.
What's that?
Dancing is a repetitive physical activity that can actually induce a trance state.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. Rhythmic movement, repetition, physical exhaustion, all of these can alter your mental state.
Like runner's high.
Kind of, but more extreme.
So the dancing itself might have reinforced the behavior.
Exactly. Once you start, the physical act of dancing could make it harder to stop.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Right? It's like a feedback loop.
Okay, so let me make sure I'm following this. Cultural beliefs about dancing and possession, combined with the physical effects of repetitive movement, combined with extreme social stress, all came together to create this phenomenon.
That's the theory, yeah.
It's wild how all these factors had to align.
Totally. And it shows how complex human behavior really is.
Absolutely. Okay, so I want to talk about something else.
Sure.
How did people at the time explain this?
You mean besides hot blood and angry saints?
Yeah, like what did regular people think was happening?
Well, a lot of people thought it was demonic.
Like the devil?
Exactly. There are accounts of priests being called in to perform exorcisms on the dancers.
Did that work?
What do you think?
I'm gonna say no.
You'd be right.
So the exorcisms failed.
Pretty much, which probably made people even more scared.
Because if the church couldn't stop it, then what could?
Right. Imagine how terrifying that would be.
I mean, we're talking about this now, and it's still terrifying.
True.
Okay, so here's something I'm curious about.
What's up?
Were the dancers aware of what they were doing?
That's a really good question.
Like, were they conscious?
Based on the accounts, it seems like they were somewhat aware but couldn't control their bodies.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, some accounts mention dancers crying or begging for help while they were dancing.
Oh my God.
So they knew what was happening but felt powerless to stop it.
That makes it so much worse.
I know.
Okay, I need to lighten the mood a little bit.
Please do.
Let's talk about how we can use today's topic to practice English.
Good idea.
So, listeners, this story is actually perfect for practicing clarifying expressions.
How so?
Well, it's full of surprising and confusing information.
True.
So when you're retelling this story to a friend or practicing with a language partner, you can use all these expressions naturally.
Right, like if you're explaining the part about the authorities making people dance more.
Your friend will probably say, "You mean to tell me they made them dance more?"
Exactly.
And if you're going through the different theories,
You might say, okay, let me get this straight. So it could be moldy bread, mass hysteria, or a cult.
perfect.
And the great thing about this topic is it's genuinely interesting.
Right, so you're not just practicing English for the sake of practicing.
You're actually learning about something cool.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's do a quick practice session for our listeners.
Love it.
I'm going to tell you a surprising fact, and you respond with a clarifying expression.
Got it.
Ready?
Yep.
In 2011, there was a case in New York where 12 teenage girls suddenly developed tics and couldn't stop moving.
Wait, you mean to tell me this dancing mania thing still happens today?
Kind of. It was diagnosed as mass psychogenic illness.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Modern doctors saw the same phenomenon that happened in medieval times?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
See, listeners, that's how you use these expressions in real conversation.
It's natural, it's spontaneous, and it helps you process surprising information.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's try another one.
All right,
This time you respond.
got it.
Scientists estimate that there have been over 100 documented cases of mass hysteria in the last century.
Hold on, let me make sure I heard that right. Over 100 cases?
Yep,
And just to be clear, we're talking about modern times, not the Middle Ages.
correct.
Wow,
Right? It's way more common than people think.
that's wild.
Okay, so listeners, you see how we're using these expressions?
They come up naturally when you're surprised or confused.
And the more you practice, the more automatic they become.
Exactly.
All right, so let's wrap this up.
Sure.
What's the main thing you want listeners to take away from today's episode?
I think there are two main takeaways.
Okay.
First, the dancing mania is a fascinating example of how powerful the mind and social pressure can be.
Agreed.
And second, clarifying expressions are essential for natural English conversation.
Especially when you're discussing complex or surprising topics.
Right.
And the best way to master them is to use them.
Practice, practice, practice.
Exactly.
So listeners, your homework for this week.
Oh, we're giving homework now?
We are. Your homework is to use at least one of these clarifying expressions in a real conversation.
And let us know how it goes.
Yeah, leave a comment or send us a message.
We'd love to hear about it.
All right, anything else you want to add?
Just one more thing.
What's that?
If you found today's episode interesting, we've got plenty more where that came from.
We cover all kinds of weird and fascinating topics.
And we always focus on practical conversational English.
So make sure you subscribe
And turn on notifications.
so you don't miss an episode.
All right, I think that's it.
Until next time,
Keep practicing
keep learning.
and keep sipping that English tea.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.